Have you been having trouble kicking every time it seems like you kick somebody? Maybe you seem to hurt your foot, or maybe you don't have the foot in the right place and it just seems like you can't do a very good kick? Well, my name is JD Olsen. I'm a black belt in several different martial arts, and I'm going to show you guys some tips and tricks on how to improve your kicks. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So I have my trusty Century XXL Pro Wave Master bag. I like these because they're able to be moved around, and if you're looking at getting ones or something like that for kickboxing, I'll put a link in the description box below if you want to go ahead and pick one up for yourself. All right, let's start with the front kick. So the very first kick I want to look at, you can do this both rear leg or lead leg. I'm going to do rear leg because I like it for the power, but I want to make sure we understand the basics of the kick. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pull my leg up and I bring my knee nice and high. And as soon as I pull my leg up, I'm going to put my toes into play. And what I mean by that is I kind of already know what kick I want to do. So if I'm going to do an instep kick, I'm going to point my toes down. If I'm going to do a front kick, I point my toes up. That way I don't seem to mess that up. So as I front kick this bag, I'm going to immediately pull those toes back. I'm going to have them already loaded and ready to go. So first things first, knee up, my toes are ready to go. I execute the kick and then I put my foot back down. Hands are up, bring your foot up. Execute the kick and back down. Let's do that again, nice and slow. Leg comes up, my toes are back. Execute the kick, kicking with the ball of your foot and not the top of your toes. If you're hitting a flat bag like this with the top of your toes, you're probably going to break your foot or at least hurt a toe, hyperextend a toe. But by putting the toes up, you're hitting with the ball of the foot, it won't hurt your foot. So I'm here. Hands are up, protecting my face. Leg comes up, kick, leg goes back down. And that's a simple front kick. It doesn't matter what lead I'm in. I pull that leg up, do the exact same thing. Okay? If you want a lead leg front kick, if that's what you want, all you're going to do is do the exact same thing. You're just going to kind of lean back a little bit. You bring your knee up, fire it, and lean back. But the toe position is what I care about right now. The toe position. Talking now the round kick. Now we have two types of round kicks in the Martial Art Unlimited Association. We have the general round kick and then we have the roundhouse kick. And when you think of the round kick, I want you to think of like a baseball bat swinging into the target. I'm not being real specific with my where I hit the bag. I'm being more specific on just hitting the target. And then when I do a roundhouse kick, think of it like a ball peen hammer hitting the target, and I'm going to pick and pinpoint my target. So the round kick, I'm going to simply use the top of my foot. And so I'm going to just pull my toes up. And what I do is I rotate and I hit with the top of my foot. This back foot is important as well. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Always, always, always keep your hands up. I know I'm dropping my hands for this teaching right now, but it's mostly so I can kind of point and show different things. So I'm here. I bring my leg up, and then I hit with the top of my foot, and then I put it back down. So bring it up, and then back down. Aiming with the top or the instep part of your foot. If you're doing Muay Thai, it's anywhere from basically the bottom of the knee to the top of the foot. I would be a little bit closer, and now I'd hit with my shin bone for a Muay Thai kick. And that's fine too. Still a round motion. Just the Muay Thai has more of a push. And karate, Tae Kwon Do has the snap. So again, not really worried about those elements right now. I'm worried more about giving you tips on how to not hurt your foot. So make sure you're flexing your toes like a ballerina foot. And then that way I don't hurt myself. Talking about this secondary leg now. If I'm going to throw this round kick, right now my toes are pointed right at the bag. If I don't let this foot turn, you're going to torque your hip, you're going to torque your knee. Whatever's weaker is probably going to get hurt or hyperextended or maybe even tear like an MCL or ACL. So make sure you turn your foot. I like to point my toes away from the target, and then I hit my target. As you kind of find a rhythm, you get going, I will eventually point my heel towards my target like we did back in Tae Kwon Do. Okay, I point my heel at the target. When you're doing your round kick, again, make sure it's the top of the foot and not the side of the foot. I can't tell you how many beginners I see and they kick and they think this is the round kick and it's this part of the foot. We're actually going to show you guys a crescent kick later on in this video and what part of the foot to use on the crescent kick. But this is the round kick. I rotate my foot and I'm hitting with the top of my foot and not the side. This is not a round kick. Moving on now, the side kick. The side kick or the blade kick. They're the same general kick. But again, if I'm standing like this, okay, pretty close, if you try to bring your leg up and then whip it out, you're not going to be able to make it. It's just not going to happen. And so what I have to do, I'm going to pull my leg in front. So I think of it like a bow and arrow. My leg or my foot is the arrow, the tip of the arrow. My body is the bow. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it in front and then I fire it out. I pull it in front and then let it go. If I switch sides, again, this is if I'm close. You pull that leg in front of you, shoot it straight out and pull it back. Now side kick, I'm going to aim with my heel, okay? Aiming with your heel. You can aim with the whole bottom of your foot, but try not to push. It's not a pushing kick. A lot of people make that mistake. They'll be here like this. I'm going to go more linear. And they try to push it with their toes. Don't try that. Just spike that foot or that heel right into the target. That'll really help you out. Again, making sure your leg is more cocked kind of in front of you, and then you fire it out. That's how you're going to do your side kick. And then the blade kick is simply using the blades of your feet. Exact same thing. And as soon as I know what kick I want to do, I situate my feet. I make sure I'm good to go with my feet for whatever it is I want to accomplish. Hook kicks, or the hooking kick. Okay? So, quick correction. Hooking your leg or your foot for the hook kick. There we go. So at this point now, I'm going to pull my leg into target. This time, more than any other, you kind of have some freedom. I have done hook kicks where I've broken boards, and I've also done hook kicks in competition. When I'm going to use it for like hitting a hard target or breaking a board, I'm going to pull it with my heel. But if I'm going to do it in competition, I'm going to flex my foot where I can get more surface area. So even if they happen to back up a little bit, I might still catch them with the toes or the ball of the foot and score a point in like point sparring. So I'm here like this, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my leg up, kind of like I'm going to do a side kick right off to the side over here, and then you hook it in. If I fold my toes back, you see I barely touch the bag. And then if I flatten my toes out, I hit the bag. So knowing your range and knowing which one you want to do will dictate how that's all going to work. And let's talk another fun kick, a stop kick. Stop kick is going to just use the little arch in my foot. And so what I'm going to do here is you're going to just stop right into that. I'm not aiming with my heel. I'm not aiming with my toes. I'm going just like this. When you do your stop kick, it's just meant to be a kind of a close quarter, maybe jab cross, ooh, and you can catch that leg. It's not meant to be a initiation kick. I'm not going to enter the fight. It's not how it works. Now let's talk the crescent kick. You have the inside and outside crescent. Some schools call it the reverse and regular crescent, reverse crescent, but we're going to talk inside, outside crescent, or just crescent kick, reverse crescent kick, whatever you want to call it. I'm not really worried. Crescent kick is going to hit with the inside of my foot, and the outside, a reverse crescent kick, is hitting with the outside of my foot. How I pull this off, I'm at my target, and it's just like so. Later on, we'll talk about bringing your knee up and whipping the kick and all that stuff, but right now, again, I'm just talking about tips to not hurt your foot. So I just got to make sure I'm hitting with the inside of my leg or my foot to do the crescent. And the outside crescent hits with the blade of your foot, just like so. Make sure those kicks are pretty high up. You don't want to have them too low. They kind of serve no purpose. And last but not least, let's talk the back kick, okay? Again, in all of my years of teaching, this is one of the kicks that gets most messed up, or I guess people seem to have a hard time with. So when you back kick, first things first, you have to look at where your target is. If you're just gonna throw a kick out there, you don't know where the target is. So first things first, look over your shoulder, know where your target is. Then pull your leg up and fire your heel like you do in your side kick into that target, okay? Just like so. Look over the target. I can kind of cheat because the bag's not moving. I can kind of look at the camera and throw the kick because I can see it off the camera. But don't get into that habit. You don't want to use mirrors and you don't want to use a camera or something like that because you're going to do practice makes permanent. You're going to get into that habit, and then if you're in a competition or maybe you're being grabbed and you need to back kick, you're not going to have it right. I have a funny story. We had a tournament back in Chicago many years ago, and my friend from our karate school won the entire tournament with back kicks. So all he did was he would throw this back fist. When the guy went high, he would turn and throw the back kick. Why he didn't go back fist to side kick, no idea, but that was just his attack plan that day. It was like back fist. As the guy's hands went to block, he just turned right underneath that arm into the ribs, and he actually won. He took a trophy home that day. There are several tips on what position to put your foot in and how to not hurt yourself when it comes to kicking. A couple little pointers. When you're doing round kicks, you need to be aware of where their elbows are, because if you round kick the top of the elbow with your foot, it's going to hurt like crazy. There's really nothing that I can do or anybody else can do about that other than you're going to be wearing your shin guards or something in like Muay Thai class or maybe even like a karate or Taekwondo class. But something to keep in mind is maybe get used to doing some of those kicks without that gear, so when it's in the real world, you're not relying on like, oh, how does that feel? That's one of my big pet peeves with like Taekwondo or certain martial arts schools where they have the chest protector all the time, because a couple tournaments I've been to, everybody's just wailing on each other's chests and there's no blocking anymore. It's just like, I can take it. And then I'm afraid that when that kid gets into a real fight, the first punch to the chest is going to kind of knock them out or knock the wind out of them. There's no fight left in them, and they're like, this stuff doesn't work. So I'm cool with like chest protectors for brand new people that are maybe really scared of sparring, but as soon as you can, get that chest protector out of there. And I kind of feel the same thing with shin guards. Kind of get those shin guards out of there pretty early on, unless you're doing something like Muay Thai where it's shin heavy. But Taekwondo, karate, TFC, Jiu-Jitsu, you shouldn't need those all the time. Kind of get used to doing it, regular. And then even wearing shoes. You should get used to doing some of your kicks with shoes on. I know I got bare feet because I'm on my mats, but there have been days where I've hand carried in a pair of shoes that maybe I just bought, and I'll say, hey, this week for classes, we're going to wear street clothes, and we're gonna wear our shoes. I've even done it where the kids have their backpacks on, because I know when they're getting out of school, sometimes those backpacks are crazy heavy. And if they go to throw a front kick, boom, they're going to fall right on their back. And so you kind of have to understand your elements and the world around you for when you're doing your techniques. Just like punching. Yeah, I'm all about wearing gloves to punch, but every now and then you should practice either your punching or at least your slapping, where you're used to like, hey, how would this work if I had to do a technique? Okay, and you do maybe, Guru Dan will talk about palm. Instead of punching, he would slap, and that's the way he recommends it. Anyway, so we just gave you several tips and tricks on how to not hurt your foot, maybe not hurt your leg when you're doing kicks. If you liked the video, do me a favor, hit that like button. It's a little thing for you, but it's a big thing for us here at the Martial Art Limited Association YouTube channel. And then if you're liking our content, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I'm going to put this thing right here. You can see that over 90% of our viewers are not subscribed. So help us out. Just hit that subscribe button. Our goal is to get to 7,000 by the end of the year. We're at like 6,400 right now, and thank you guys for that. And then last but not least, hit that bell icon, and that way you'll know when all future videos are coming out from myself Sifu Ed and Sensei Josh here at the Martial Art Limited Association. You guys stay safe, keep training, keep your hands up. This is Sensei JD, and I'm out.